Hi, my name's Tom Nardacci, and my company's called Aurelius Coworks. And we develop co-working communities and flexible office space. And first, I want to say thank you to Startup Tech Valley, the folks at RPI, Kelly, Jason, as well as the supporters and volunteers like the folks from Troy Webb and Todd for having me this evening. So 15 years ago, I moved back to the Capital Region after a communications career in Washington, D.C. and New York City. And I decided to start my own public relations business. And I started out of my house. And then I worked from coffee shops. And then as I grew my business, I signed a 5-year lease. And then 2.5 years into my 5-year lease, I broke my lease. I signed another 5-year lease. 2.5 years into that lease, I broke my lease. So my decision to move into co-working and flexible space is personal. I also have always wanted to be involved with economic development and the revitalization of downtowns. And so as I moved my public relations firm to Troy, I bought a building that sat vacant for 30 years. And we created what's known as Troy Innovation Garage. And it's a way for us to help be a part of revitalization in urban areas and regions like the 518. So what I'm going to talk to you about tonight is about a social development company. Yes, we do real estate. Yes, we do co-working, but we're involved in socially responsible development. 2017, we opened Troy Innovation Garage as a home for creative companies, like the one I had started. Today, we have 125 members, 80 programs and events. It's a lively place. In January of this year, I opened up a space across the street from the state capitol called Bull Moose Club, 10,000 square feet, built for the political economy. We've also been working on a few deals in the pipeline for an enterprise services division of Aurelius, where we're partnering with commercial landlords that have some vacancy outside of downtowns, but in the region, and as well as some other projects where we operate the space. We don't own it and capitalize it, but we'll operate or manage it. Who do we serve? You know, and I brought notes tonight, but I'm like, you're my people, right? This is who we serve. We're here for you. We're not, by the way, we're not normal in the Capital Region. Right? We're not the typical person in the Capital Region. So let's be honest about that. You know, the startup economy is happening and starting to grow. Startup Tech Valley is a big part of that. But what we do is built for people like us. You know, remote workers, someone who's been in business for 10 years that says, I'm gonna do my own thing. I have the flexibility to do my own thing. Consultants, freelancers, and it's a place where instead of working from home, you can come and be part of a community. And that's what we've built in our spaces. Our spaces are a mix of private workspace as well as open co-working and programming. So it's not all open desks. We've been smart about what the need is and what the desire is in the market, as well as social events, connections, connectivity. So we're not alone, that we have people we can talk to that understand what we go through. Let me step back a couple thousand feet and talk about the Capital Region. The Capital Region has 65,000 square feet of flexible office space. I have control of 25,000 square feet of it. It doesn't make any sense. I'm a public relations person, okay? There's 22 million square feet of commercial office space in the Capital Region. New York City has 3.6% of all of their real estate is flexible. The Capital Region's flexible workspace is 0.1%. If we were at 5%, it means we need 1 million square feet of space, not 65,000. We actually need 1 million. That's what the desire is. So we have companies that are growing out of Troy right now, in Albany, that don't have a place to go because they're being forced to sign 5-year and 10-year leases, and they're still growing. So they're saying, where do we go next? What's next? And that's why we're working on the enterprise services to try to provide a what's next. So we have about 50,000 square feet in the pipeline that we're talking about and working on. So which would bring us up to about 100,000 square feet. Who's going to do the other 900,000 square feet we actually need? So there's a real opportunity in the capital region, and we're just a piece of it. I'm looking at us being 10% of the solution. So my approach to this is a cluster approach. We have 2 flagship locations, Bull Moose Trade Innovation Garage, and we're looking at doing 5 other, what I'll call affiliate locations, where we might operate it, we might do a joint venture, and this is important because this is tied to our expansion. So when we go into a market, we look to stand up 100,000 square feet of flexible office space. So the co-working industry trends, by the way, and I know everyone in this room has heard about WeWork. Let's forget about WeWork for a second, okay? Because there's like 20 other companies that are doing it better than Adam Newman was doing it, and they weren't smoking pounds of pot on the private jet. So let's not get distracted by WeWork, okay? Because the fact is there's 200 co-working spaces in New York City. There's 200. There's also 200 Starbucks locations. How many Starbucks locations are there in the capital region? That's how many co-working spaces we should have in the capital region. Okay, it's a simple metric if you think about it. 45% of the flexible workspace in the United States is concentrated in 5 cities. Okay, because companies like Industrious and those who are building, they'd rather build in places that there's already competition because the market's educated. My biggest challenge in opening these businesses is educating the market, letting all of you know that we exist and you can come. You could just walk in and work. It's a huge undertaking on our end. So where am I focused on? I'm focused on places like Albany. I'm gonna stand up another 50,000 square feet. We're gonna get to 100,000 square feet here, but I'm 45 years old. What am I gonna do for the next 10 years, okay? This is my 3rd act of my career. And what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go into other middle markets. So I've been working with some folks to try to find another market like Albany that I can go into, another middle market. Because I believe that the middle markets are also underserved. Places like Providence and Cleveland and Buffalo and Rochester and all throughout the Northeast that I visited. So I think there's opportunities. And there's opportunities to make an impact like we've made in Troy and like we've made in the capital region. So here's where I'm at. So right now I'm focused on developing locations in the Northeast United States. I want to stand up more spaces in the capital region, and then I want to grow to another market. But the dream is big, okay? And this is I'm 45 years old, so I still don't know everything, but I know a little bit. So this is my big idea. For 15 years, I've run a very successful public relations business. And for 3 years, I was a CEO of a 100-person company that was going through some real trouble that I helped to turn around. So I've been in business for a while, and I know that this is my time to make a big move. 2 minutes. So here's what's next for me. So we just signed a deal to open up a space in Providence, Rhode Island. So Providence doesn't have a co-working space. Can you imagine? Troy, you'd understand, but Providence doesn't? Brown, RISD, it's like all 3 downtowns, Albany, Schenectady, Troy, Saratoga, all 4 downtowns in one downtown. So that's what's next for us. We're opening this up in Q1. So we're doing the construction designs right now. So that's what we're working on there. Here's our ask. I also understand, having been in business for 15 years, that this is a big project. This is a big company. This is a $40 million company, and I can't do it by myself. I have a really great team that's dedicated, a lot of young people on my staff. I need help. I need someone, a partner, who says, you know what, I want to do something socially responsible. I want to get involved. I want to make a change. I want to do places that's built for startups, that's built for people like me. And so I'm looking for help. I'm looking for, yes, we need money. Capitalizing these spaces costs money. Starting them up is money. Introductions. I need real estate expertise. I've learned something. I've done construction. I've learned about leasing. I'm still not an expert. We need people who understand development, and we need access to commercial property owners, because we are disrupting the commercial real estate market, and it's something that we need to meet property owners who are comfortable in themselves, who can say, you know what, I want to do something different. I've been renting this office the same way for 30 years. I want to do something fun. So we're looking for the fun building owner. So if you know them, that's who I want to talk to. Thank you, and I'm here to take any questions.
What differentiates you from all the other office sharing services?
So the question was, what differentiates us from all the other office sharing services? The biggest differentiator is that the major players in flexible workspace and real estate are not in the places we're looking to go. WeWork will never come to Albany. It just is not going to happen. So we have to come up with other solutions ourselves. So I think that's a differentiator. I think we do pay attention to what's happening in the market nationally. How do we serve the needs of growing companies? Where maybe it's 1 or 2 person offices. Now I'm looking at developing suites for 15 to 20 people because there's a need in the market. So we're trying to be a little more flexible and not as rigid to meet the demands of what's in the market. Thank you very much. Thanks,